Good day, learners! Welcome to our science class. I am Teacher Liz and I will be your teacher for today's session in Grade 9 Science. Before we start our lesson, please take note of the following reminders. First, prepare your pen, paper, and self-learning module. Remember that you can play or pause this video whenever necessary. You can always go back or revisit any portion of this video lesson. Today's lesson is about volcanoes, its definition, parts, and types. This lesson addresses the following most essential learning competency. Describe the different types of volcanoes and volcanic eruption. The following objectives are: define what a volcano is, identify the parts of a volcano, and differentiate active and inactive volcanoes. Consider the following questions and try to answer them as you watch this video lesson. Take a pause if you want to write this down before proceeding. The Philippines is located along the Pacific Ring of Fire. As a result, it is home to many volcanoes. One of the most recent and dangerous volcanic eruptions in the country was the 2020 Taal volcano eruption, which affected thousands of families and caused millions worth of damage. According to the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or PHIVOLCS, our country has a unique tectonic setting ideal to volcanic activities. It is therefore important for us to know how volcanic eruptions occur to reduce the risk and effects that they may cause. Our first question: what is a volcano? When you think of a volcano, what comes to your mind? Most people think of a steep mountain with smoke coming out. In fact, a volcano is any place where gases and melted rock called magma come out of the ground. Therefore, a volcano can be a tall mountain or a small hole in the ground. But then how are volcanoes formed? Volcanoes are formed when layers of melted rock or magma reach the Earth's surface and become lava. As lava flows cool and harden, they make the volcano bigger. Note that these processes take thousands of years to occur. Second question: what are the parts of a volcano? If you could look inside an erupting volcano, it would look like this. Beneath the surface of the Earth is a large pool of hot molten rock or magma called the magma chamber. Magma escapes from the volcano through the openings in the Earth's crust called vents. The main vent is the main tube that connects the magma chamber to the Earth's surface. Secondary vents are smaller outlets or vents. The magma chamber, the magma, and vents are the internal parts of a volcano. When magma flows onto the Earth's surface, it is called lava. What about the external parts? A volcano has a summit, slope, and base. At the summit, the opening at the top of a volcano is called crater. When a volcano erupts explosively or when the magma chamber collapses, the crater may result into a large depression called caldera. Over time, the caldera may be filled with groundwater, creating a deep lake. The Taal Lake is one of the most famous caldera formed between 500 and 100,000 years ago. Its breathtaking scenery makes it one of the most popular tourist destinations. Question number 3. What are the classifications of volcanoes based on the frequency of eruption? Volcanoes are classified based on how often they erupt. Inactive or extinct volcanoes are those that do not have any records of eruption over the last 10,000 years. Potentially active or dormant volcanoes, on the other hand, are those that have no records of eruption over the last 2,000 years but may have the potential to erupt again. And finally, active volcanoes are those that have erupted within the last 600 years and with records of eruption within the last 10,000 years. In the Philippines, We have more than 300 inactive volcanoes. Few examples are Batulao in Batangas, Balungao in Pangasinan, Butong in Quezon, and Paco in Surigao del Norte. We also have 25 potential active volcanoes. Examples are Arayat in Pampanga, Isarog in Camarines Sur, Cuernos de Negros in Negros Island, and Mount Apo in Davao del Sur. Finally, we have 24 active volcanoes in the Philippines. Examples are Mayon in Albay, Taal in Batangas, Canlaon in Negros Island, Hibuk-Hibuk in Camiguin, and Pinatubo in Zambales. Mount Pinatubo in Zambales, for example, had been dormant for 400 years until 1991 when it erupted. Its eruption was recorded as the second largest eruption of the 20th century. This was the caldera left by the eruption in 1991, and 30 years later, it now looks like this. Just like the Taal Lake, Pinatubo Lake is also a favorite tourist spot for its scenic landscape. Here is a list of the most active volcanoes in the Philippines, with Mayon having the most number of historical eruptions. Are any of these volcanoes near your place? Discuss with a family member on what you should do in case of a volcanic eruption. Learn more about the different volcanoes in the Philippines by performing this activity on page 166 to 167 of your module. Answer the guide questions that follow. Let's recap what you have learned. It's time to check yourself. Identify what is being asked in the following statements. That's it! How's your score? If you got it all perfect, congratulations! If not, you can always go back to any part of this video lesson and re-study. I hope you learned a lot from today's session. Thank you so much for tuning in. Up next is about how and why volcanic eruptions occur. Once again, this is Teacher Liz. See you next time and have a great day!